Does Drew Gibson owe me an apology? Does Gannon Burr owe me an apology? Let's get into it. I am totally kidding about the apologies, but Gannon Burr just made a back leg video. I had a lot of people reach out to me complaining that he didn't shout me out. And now Drew Gibson just made a back leg video claiming that he doesn't see anybody coaching this. So that was a little bit of a blow to the ego, you could say. Let me be clear. If I was a Gannon Burr or a Drew Gibson, I would not be concerning myself with YouTube coaches either. Let's focus on what just happened with Drew Gibson and Gannon Burr. Drew Gibson is the form GOAT. He is the greatest of all time when it comes to backhand form. Obviously, for those of you who watch my channel, it's a tie with Paul McBeth, but either way, it's a tie at number one. What just happened is these two guys just came out and told you the secret to pro form. This is fantastic for disc golf. And let me be very clear, I didn't say the secret to distance. That's not what I just said. This isn't about distance. Even Drew says it in this video. It's about consistency. It's about control. It's about having that specific look. So I think that's a great thing. I would listen to Drew and Gannon. Now I'm going to address the front leg versus back leg debate, because that is taking place in the comments of this Drew video talking about the counterweight and that Drew's wrong. So I'm going to tell you right now an objective take on the truth about disc golf instruction. Now, I don't have a problem saying this right now because every single front leg coach has called me out in one way or another, which I don't have a problem with. Backhand form brings out a passion in everybody who coaches, because no matter how people coach, I personally believe that all the coaches are super passionate about backhand form. So whether the techniques aside, that's one thing that's so great about this sport. But we can't deny the fact that there are about 10 front leg disc golf coaches, maybe 15, that are all telling you the exact same thing: to not push with the back leg. You can see it right in the comments. The back leg is a counterweight. Your hip will fire as a result of a good brace. Your leg will drive down into the L shape as a result of a good brace. You do not actively use it. You don't twist it. You don't turn it. You don't push twist with it. You don't do anything like that. It is inactive. Why is that? Well, it's very simple. So if there's 10 coaches teaching you to not use the back leg, and there's one coach or two coaches or three coaches, if you count Gannon and Drew, teaching you to use the back leg, well, I think we should take the coaching out of it. We should take the words, the yapping out of it. Put us all on mute and focus on what we are actually doing in our own form. And I'm not talking about distance. I'm not saying who's right or wrong. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying what we are actually doing when we throw a disc as coaches. Well, I'll tell you this: the 10 coaches who tell you that using the back leg is wrong and to not use it, they are not using it themselves. I'm telling you to use the back leg because I use it. It's that simple. Every coach is teaching you what they are doing because they are teaching you what they know how to feel. Because if you don't know how to feel what you're teaching, that's called guessing. I'm not saying my form is good. I'm not saying what I'm teaching is right. What I'm about to tell you right now is what I'm doing and what I'm teaching. I don't care about pros. I don't care about other coaches. I don't care about anything. It's just you, the viewer, and me looking at this, talking about what I'm doing and how I would tell you to do it if you were stuck in jail. I'm starting to steal that whole stuck in jail thing. I like it. So I'm in the Heisman position right here. I am balancing. My knee is bent. So you would imagine if you get up and balance in that position, my calves are engaged, right? My thigh is engaged. If I were to sit there and hold that, I'd be shaking. I balance and drift through this stride here, which means I'm still fully loaded on that back leg. I'm coiling against that back leg. So my foot is now starting to touch. And when we talk about weight transfer, I'm going to kind of explain the difference between front leg and back leg disc golf. So in front leg, you put all the weight on the front leg right away. You really feel it through the knee. You feel it through the whole leg. And a lot of the times you're like pushing down. Well, in back leg, I'm coiled up and loaded on the back leg. So right here where my foot first touches, I am planting. There is weight, but it's going into the foot. I'm on the ball of the foot. My heel's not touching. So my shoe is going to bust out the side because my foot is laterally going out the side. Like if you're bracing the right way, your foot should be busting out the side of your shoes if your shoes are cheap. So in this moment, I have weight on my front foot and I can feel it in the foot, but I'm still coiled and back loaded. You can see by my calf muscles. I have pressure on my thigh, on my glute, on my calf, on my foot right here. You can even see how my toes kind of crinkling. I am leveraging the force of the ground with my back leg. My front leg is light. It doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of weight there. It's a really good feeling. My right leg is bent. It's athletic, but I didn't jam any weight into it. The weight's only in the foot. My back leg is what's carrying most of that weight right now. Now let's look at the back leg. On each frame going forward, I just push actively. That's how my knee goes down and I push. I pushed again. You can see the crinkle in the toes. I'm using the force of the ground there to drive my leg in and down. Did it again. See the engagement of the calf? The L shape is starting to form. I did it again. Knee is going down. This is active. The force here on my toes crinkling. I would say that this is where now the momentum and the rotation takes over and my foot comes off the ground. But the job was already done from there to there. Momentum takes over. Now my foot's off the ground. At this point, my left hip hasn't fired, right? Now it's done. It's finished firing. I didn't do that with my hip. I did that with my leg. Because I'm driving that weight rotationally with my leg and my core and my offside, you notice how this leg is moving. Each frame where my knee drives down, this leg pops out a little bit. See how it's moving? Each frame, there's more weight going into the leg. Each frame, because I'm driving that weight into it. So by the time I do get to a full brace, my whole leg is now weighted. But because I did it this way, I drove into the leg instead of on top of the leg. I never felt it. There's no abrupt down push. There's no knee pain. There's no conscious front leg brace. There's no having to rotate on the heel or the foot. No, all the focus is on my back leg and my body. My front leg is just there to stop my rotation. And I know this is still going to confuse a bunch of people. That's why you use drills to feel these things. But ultimately, my front leg goes unnoticed. I'm not saying I'm right or wrong. I'm not saying they're right or wrong. I'm here if you're stuck in jail. Stuck in jail. Isn't it funny how serious we take backhand form slingshots for everybody? I'm out.